Hi folks, Anita Narine here. I thought I'd discuss my journey into entrepreneurship and some of the assets I bought into that change, and also some of the challenges that I've found that I'm learning to grow through in order that I can bring my life's work, as I call it, more than a business, to to make a successful impact, but also a successful conclusion for the time that I have on this earth. And so I came from a background in psychiatry, nursing of many years, 20 years plus, and also worked for the nurses' professional body as an officer. And that was a very involved piece of career, if you like, where I was looking after patients who had severe mental health issues. In one of the specialty areas I worked later on, postnatal psychiatry, looking after mums with severe postnatal illness. We were a teaching ward, and I ran the team across shifts. So it was very responsible work. And it was a career that I did very, very well in, utilizing my gifts, my fascination with the mind, if you like. And one of the things that I found throughout my career was that one of the reasons why my reputation went before me and I got headhunted for virtually every post from my student days onwards, which was quite something to behold. When I looked at why that might have happened without campaigning for myself, it was down to a few simple things: that I genuinely cared about people, and that in nursing you have to have great empathy. And it's one thing to have it, it's another thing to practice it well. So that human touch and empathy and genuine care, combined with the skills you need in mental health, but also the attitude as a person, which was that basically in relation to the values I had, the things that were most important to me, I set my standards high. I put my head down. I learned to keep growing as a person so that I could give of my best and create and deliver great impact where caring for people's lives was concerned. Those were the things I built my practice round. And I believe all those things combined, staying humble, being willing to grow, always asking more of myself, and genuinely caring, all those things combined along with my skills were what led to the success I had within that career and that kind of thing where I got headhunted. And I started nursing in the 90s, 1990. I was 27 at the time, so I was considered a late starter in terms of a career there. But that was nursing. And I also, alongside that, in my downtime, I had a career with a small c in women's football, both as a player and as a coach at club level, regional level. I'd also, before that, played hockey at club and regional and East of England level. And in football, which was my love, I went on to coach, do a mentorship course for at the level of international level, the England level. But I couldn't sustain that because coaching was voluntary. It was like another career, and trying to enable that to coexist beside my nursing career, which involved shift work, was very impossible. And we weren't really valued as coaches. We're just expected to do everything for free. So what I learned from the football pitch that I brought into life and my work was about winning mentality. And also something really quite profound, which was that when everybody works as a team together, without that fear of losing their individual identity and their individual acknowledgement, you actually achieve more and get more individual acknowledgement. And that's what I found. I mean, I won more player of the match trophies than anybody at that time. And I also won the players manager of the season 3 seasons in a row. And that's at that kind of amateur level, not kind of professional level. And so it taught me some profound things about resilience, winning mentality. And one of the things I did there in my preparation for every game was again, attended to my personal growth and my mental preparation. And that was key in how I was able to perform at such a high level. Because if you're physically good and technically good at what you do in football or in nursing or whatever it is, then a huge part of it comes from another place. And that is about yes, some of it is about performance, but it's all about that mind and that heart set and your willingness to grow and to become more and to become bigger in order to deliver something bigger. And the reason I give you that background is that these things served well into when it came to transitioning into entrepreneurship. But the first seeds of being an entrepreneur was sown in the 1980s. And I didn't really know the word entrepreneur back then. I just had this urge to be creative and develop my own enterprise as I saw it then. And I remember dipping my hand into working for a company selling the Kirby vacuums. They were powerful, they were efficient, they were built on science, and I was drawn to the product and the value of that vacuum and what it could do, and why it was superior to other vacuums on the market in scientifically showing what it could pull out from a mattress and the dirt beneath the surface of a carpet that other vacuums didn't reach. But I belly flopped when it came to sales and marketing. I mean, I was just completely useless. So that was very, very short-lived. But the seeds had been sown. And I continued in work and employment and in nursing later on because of my fascination with the mind. And, it came to a point in my career where I started to feel very unfulfilled and very constrained. And it brings me to one of the challenges that exist in employment, apart from the fact that it puts a ceiling on your income. I've never been totally driven by money. It's important and has become more important to me, but only relative to the value and the impact that I can make. So I'm always somebody that's been driven by value and impact, but always wondered why that has to have a ceiling where money is concerned. Particularly in nursing where you don't get paid a lot. And so all those things combined, I started feeling very empty, very unfulfilled. And at the level of my heart and soul, I really felt called to take everything I'd become and what I'd done, but to plant myself into, if you like, a new environment. And I didn't know what that looked like at the time. All I had was a sense of my abilities and, what I was passionate about, my sense of humanitarianism, philanthropy, and my recollection of the Kirby experience. And I kind of bumped into this cul-de-sac. In employment, one of the challenges beyond the money aspect is that often when you are functioning within a role, you can end up being very straight-jacketed. What should ideally be a role that's built around what you're best at, but in a way that allows you to thrive and express it very freely for great impact, is very rarely the case. As time has gone on, politics and finance have become the dictates, and it results in feeling very straitjacketed and following rules and regulations that don't make for the best in practice, and particularly in psychiatry, in bringing about great health in the people that we're serving. And I won't even get into the politics of health on that. That could be a whole new discussion. But so I felt very straitjacketed. And it then reminded me of what drew me into what I came to understand as the entrepreneur's journey, which was the desire to create an enterprise, something on my own terms, utilizing my own gifts, having that operational freedom, having the freedom to choose when I work, how I work, etc., etc. And so that started to call to me from the level of my heart and soul, because it connected with what I feel is my divine purpose. And I don't mean that in a religious sense. And so I started to transition into the world of entrepreneurship, and then bumped into problems. The problem being that certainly in the UK, they talk in terms of being self-employed, and being self-employed versus being an entrepreneur, it has overlap, but they're not necessarily the same. And so I got caught up in what so many people do, which was charging for my time alone. And so I had to then go on a journey to realize that when I'm just charging for my time, I'm limited in how many people I can work with and how much impact I can deliver and how much I can earn, and therefore how much I can fuel and recycle and integrate into philanthropic causes, which is dear to my heart. And so I was feeling this constraint, and I had to go on a long journey to learn how to overcome that. Especially in an environment where people only really understood self-employment, how much do you charge per hour? And so it led me to understanding different things about becoming an entrepreneur in my business, which is more my life's work than my business. And to name that, I run a coaching and mentoring transformational coaching and mentoring business, which is really about helping people achieve more freedom and fulfillment and build inspirational legacies in their life that's built on the pillars of their passion, their purpose, and philanthropy, but in a way that hopefully they can scale their business so that they can impact and deliver more value and have a lifestyle that they desire, that has freedom in it. And that of course starts with me. And so basically where I'm at on that journey is that I built and continue to build my entrepreneurial journey around sort of 3 or 4 things really. And that is learning to, first of all, I had to learn how to value myself. So that's the relationship with myself and everything to do with self-worth. And when people say that's got nothing to do with anything, it's just about taking massive action, I disagree. If you don't have a harmonic relationship with yourself, if you're not in partnership with yourself and harmony with yourself, then you're in conflict, and it's very, very difficult to do a good job because you take who you are into your life and your business. I don't see a divide there. And it becomes like something that pulls against you if you're not in that rightful relationship with yourself and you don't learn to value who you are and then what you bring to the table. So that was part of the first part of my journey, was learning to value who I was and what I brought to the table, which is to do with self-esteem and self-worth. And then from that place, learning to package the value I could bring in helping other people through the solutions I brought to their problems, if you like, and learning it to package it in a way that valued what I brought to the table, but at the same time made it affordable to people. And that's a fine balancing act. And that's one I can continue to tweak and adjust and do different packages, because I think the affordability varies from country to country. And then there's that technology that enables you to scale things up. But it's one, and those are the pillars I build round. And I'm always continuing to build around the relationship with myself, learning to value, learning to raise my standards, because for me, that's an important part of the equation. It's no use having the technology or the solution that, is worth a lot of money, if you like, if you don't become the person that can hold that can become the steward of it. That is my humble opinion. And that is part of what I teach people in the transformational work that I do with them, is the person that you become, the attitude of you as a person is as important to your success as everything else. So when I came out of employment into, if you like, self-employment, but then the entrepreneur's path, I brought assets with me, which were my genuine care, my humanitarian, gravitation, if you like, my empathy, my learning to set values, standards according to my values, and apply myself to personal growth, because the journey never ends, and deliver on that. So always looking to improve. And the winning mentality I learned from the football pitch, and the teamwork ethic, which is the collaborative thing. Not everything has to be about out-competing somebody else. And those were the things I bought that served me well and became anchors. And then the things I've had to learn, which have not been so easy, is the marketing and the money things which go hand in hand. And learning to value myself in a business world that can often be very cutthroat. And so it's a great joy to be on platforms like this that kind of support the values that I want to continue to grow in, that provide the technology that will remove some of the headaches of being an entrepreneur, where it can feel like you're doing a lot of things in the one. And so that I can focus my time on building around what some people might call my superpower, but have the technology and systems around me that will take that grunt work whilst I nurture and care for the audience of people that need and want what I bring to the table. So that's been my entrepreneur's journey so far. I hope you've enjoyed what I've shared there, and I look forward to listening to the notes you share from your journey as well. So bye for now.